Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Pisces, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link and my official Instagram, both listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Pisces, I hope that you're doing well. This is a special reading all about what the ancients want to say to you. I have been feeling very, sometimes mysterious messages coming through, especially in my dreams as of late. And they feel like they're coming from a very distant place, distant voices, not just passed away loved ones, but something a lot broader, a lot more in realms that I haven't even approached yet. So I wanted the ancients to have their say for you today. I'm using 2 decks for your reading. First one for the overall energy is going to be from the Star Seed Oracle deck, and I'm going to be using the Wild Unknown Tarot for the tarot portion of your reading today. Both decks I have not really used very much on the channel, but they felt appropriate. Cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angel Spirits, guys, what messages do you have for Pisces? Messages from the ancients. Okay. Really beautiful. Let me situate myself here. The card that you got, baby steps. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. It's so interesting to me, baby steps. And we can see here the character on this like cliff face. There's this beautiful archway here. And then you have these beautiful... Oh. Sorry, I thought something was being spelled out here. I just felt a fluctuation in my ear. So I see the letters A and V. If you have those initials in your name, that could be relevant to you. Actually, now I see 1, 2, 3 characters here. And then this area here looks like an oil slick, doesn't it? It's like the veil, like the Pisces card in the Major Arcana. The High Priestess sits at the veil between worlds. 1 foot in this world, 1 foot in the spiritual realm. What I think is so fascinating, though, about the baby steps aspect of this card is the fact that Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. The most ancient of the zodiac signs. So this idea that you would now be taking baby steps suggests that even the world-weary, well-worn universal traveler that is Pisces is now at the precipice of learning something new. And it was only in this lifetime that you could have encountered this experience. And the ancients want to remind you of how special this particular life is in the scope of all of your lifetimes. Because in this lifetime, you're meant to learn something brand new. And the way that you approach it, because it could be overwhelming to you, is just 1 step at a time. Because eventually you're going to reach this threshold of knowledge and there will be no turning back. Because it's almost like you enter from this kind of a craggy precipice to something absolutely magical, ethereal, glowing. This also reminds me of like Nordic symbology. This here, these lines and arrow type shapes. You might have Nordic roots. Okay, I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of this song, but Spirit just started singing it in my head, so I have to give it to you. Here, Alicia Keys. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I've never loved someone the way that I love you. Take that as it resonates. I'm not really sure. It doesn't feel like necessarily that we're dealing with like a romantic thing. That's not what it feels like. It feels more, it's almost like you're speaking to your own life, this lifetime. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. As the baby steps, it just reiterates to me that there could have been struggle, right? There's always struggle. But as of late, the ancients want to kind of remind you that it is purposeful. That eventually you're going to reach a threshold where all will be revealed. So I'm going to get some cards on the table. I am only taking uprights. Spirit has asked me to only read uprights. 3 cards out. The first one, 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, you know, when I was talking about things feeling a little difficult, now the ancients bring up the idea of fairness. 6 of Pentacles, equal give and take. What you put out into the world be returned back to you. What it is that we've grown. I was going to say, what is it that we've grown, but what it is. What has come to pass. What has transpired already. I don't know why that distinction had to be made, but it had to be made. There's this, it's, okay, so Spirit is giving me this image of a video that I watched this morning on Instagram of this lady. She has a garden, or farm, and she was going over to her sister-in-law's house, and she wanted to bring her fresh fruits and vegetables. And she picked carrots and cabbages and oranges and lemons and passion fruits and all this stuff. And I remember thinking when she was picking the oranges and the lemons, how bountiful. Like, she didn't even show the whole shot of the tree. It was probably just like a very small section of the tree where her hand was, you know, coming down, kind of like coming down on the lemons and the oranges, picking them, plucking them from the tree. And I just remember thinking, God, that tree has so many fruits in it. It's so bountiful, plentiful. And thinking, God, it would be so lovely to actually, and a lot of hard work, of course, and maybe you own a farm, but it would be so lovely to be in a position to be able to grow your own food. It's, you know, we're not meant to go without in any way, but it's just about having the skill set to do it. And there's something Spirit is saying to me, you have the skill set to grow your own prosperity. And not everyone has that skill set. That's the point. these oranges, obviously, most likely organic, right? They were perfect. They were perfectly beautiful, round. They looked so delicious. And I'm not even a big fan of citrus fruit, but I was like, these oranges look gorgeous. I bet they taste beautiful because they're grown with love. Spirit wants me to remind you, what are you growing? And in what spirit are you growing it with? Are you growing things with love? Okay, I'm being given a very funny situation that happened at work this week. I don't know. I'm a Cancer, so my emotions were everywhere this week, and just everybody and everything was setting me off. And I was telling one of my coworkers, I was like, you know what? You need to tell everybody that when they walk into this office, if they want to be on my good side, that they need to bring me a soy latte, right? They need to bring me a soy latte. That's the only way that it's gonna magically alter my mood. So one unsuspecting coworker came in, and she was like just asking a question or whatever to set me off. And I was like, why are you bringing that here? Take that back to where you found it, and blah, 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 right? And she's like, what did I do, right? What did I do? What did I do? And my coworker, just typing at her computer, goes, you should bring her a soy latte, and just starts looking at her computer again. And that made me laugh. Next thing I know, 5 minutes later, this young lady comes in, opens up my office door just a crack with the cup and says, soy latte, right? It's like a peace offering. When they're not, it didn't need to. I was not actually upset. Sometimes I like to play the emotion bigger just for effect. But I put the latte on my desk, and my coworker looked at it, and she's like, wow, you actually got one. And I said, yeah, but this was made with a little bit of desperation. So, you know, I'm sure that there was nothing wrong with the latte, but at the same time, you have to be careful with what it is that you're putting out into the world. I put out into the world some aggression, and what I got back in return was somebody trying to give me a peace offering. That is born out of, even in this minutest, most minute place, is born out of fear. So I did not drink that coffee. I gave it to someone else. I cleansed it. There was Palo Santo. It was the whole thing. But I did not drink that coffee. Because it was not made with love. And that's absolutely fine. And most of the time, to be honest with you, if we go out to get a coffee at a coffee shop, I doubt that it's made with love. I'm just trying to make a point here, which is when something presents itself and it was made with care and with love and affection and friendship and family, you can tell the difference. It's why the glass of water that your mom makes tastes better than what a stranger would make. A glass of water. Glass of water that my mom makes always tastes better. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It just does. And there's something about that. What is it that you're growing? And what energy are you putting into growing it? The next card out here, 8 of Wands. Fast action and fast communication, this intensity, dynamic intensity, Spirit just said. 8 of Wands is something that cannot be stopped. And it doesn't want to be stopped. It's in earnest. There's a sense of urgency in the movement of this particular kind of energy. Almost like if we're going from this card to this card, it's like there's a shakeup that needs to happen in your life. You want to shake up. You want to make things it's like catapulting your progress. You want to be careful with that. You want to be careful with that. Because you're already a powerful being. Spirit is actually showing me like a little bit of spell work. So I don't know if you're a witch, a sorcerer of some kind. You're already a powerful being. You're Pisces after all. So if you're trying to manifest change in a very fast way, it's almost like that craze during the pandemic when everybody was trying to buy moldavite. Do you remember that? People were buying crystals and educating themselves on crystals because a lot of people were having spiritual awakenings during the pandemic. And all of a sudden, this meteoric material that landed in the Czech Republic called moldavite was making the rounds, and people were saying that you want to be very careful when you wear or deal with moldavite because it enacts change, but sometimes that change does not come in a pleasant form. You want change and your whole life might fall apart. For your best and highest good, supposedly. That's what it feels like. Spirit is showing me moldavite with this energy. So it's this idea that Pisces, if you want to manifest change, good for you. Be very clear in your mind about what that change needs to be. Be very clear, and very clear in the vibration that you use whilst you manifest it. You don't want to make something because of fear or retribution. You want to make something because of love and emotional investment and thoughtfulness. Okay. The next card out here, 4 of Wands. We're looking to build firm foundations. The 4 of Wands is the 1111 card. But in this card, it looks very much like third eye energy. Opening up the third eye, opening up the senses, allowing the downloads from Spirit to come in. The ancients are trying to speak to you through this portal. They're trying to help you. Spirit just said resurrect. There's something about this lifetime in particular for you, Pisces, that you're starting something that you've never done in any other lifetime. And Spirit wants to make sure that your third eye is in the proper place, that it's sufficiently activated so that whatever the ancients want to communicate to you comes through very clearly. So this also involves kind of shutting away what does not need to be there. Because when I look at this card, even though it's an 8 of Wands card, it reminds me of the Tower. The Tower card of the Major Arcana talks about blowing the crown chakra off, the ego, whatever it is that keeps us trapped in a certain identity, just mixing all of that up. And whatever did not form something worthwhile, solid, fruitful, it just gets wiped away. So, we want to be left with something that we can build upon, that we can rise from. That's what this card represents. But I feel like it starts with the connection that you have with Spirit. The fact that they're bringing this up maybe suggests to me that you haven't been feeling as connected with spirit as you usually do, because life gets in the way, responsibilities, the noise of the world is louder than it ever has been. I mean, truly, it's a loud world. And how do we quiet it? Right? Through prayer and meditation, breath work. Like, you see everybody say this, but it actually has legitimate results. Let's get a final card for Pisces. Messages from the ancients. Final card for Pisces, please. Magician, you see? Number 1 of the major arcana, you see? The magician is the master manifester. We were talking about this. If you're going to manifest, and it seems like you are, it seems like you're really primed and ready, make sure that your mindset is very clear. This leopard, I think this is what this big cat is. It's like becoming very fixated on one point in space and moving towards it. See how this leopard, it's not distracted by anything. There's a lot happening in this image. Its gaze is looking upon something very specific, and that's what Spirit is encouraging you to do right now. Be very, very clear. You're very powerful at this time with the Magician. And it works in both directions. You manifest what you are. You manifest your mindset. And that happens for good and for not so good. So be very clear. Pisces, that's your reading. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Pisces.